Well, hello everybody, BugEater64 here, and as promised, my next video is going to be Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, and we are actually going to be looking at starting up and lift on 3 helicopters. And we're going to be doing the Microsoft Osobo stock Bell 407, and then we're going to be doing the COWANSIM 206 B3, and then finally the Flyinside 206. All 3 are fun to fly, excellent modules for the simulation, and so we're going to go through them a little bit. We're going to use the in-sim checklist for each of the aircraft for the startup, and just kind of look at what they can do or how hard they are to play with, and we'll go from there. It should be fun because I am not a professional pilot, as you all know, but by golly, I've spent a few hours in helicopters and they're just great. I love them. Much more challenging for me than conventional aircraft. So let's get inside the sim and let's get this thing started. See you inside. All right, everybody, we're going to get started here. Today we're going to start with the stock Bell 407, and we're at Greenville Spartanburg International, upstate South Carolina. And what we're going to do with each one of these aircraft is go ahead and do the startup using the checklist available in the sim. We're going to start up the engines, do a lift, and then we'll go from there, just to give you an idea. So here we are. This is the Bell 407. So let's get started with that. A little bit windy, but other than that, it's an absolutely beautiful day in upstate South Carolina. Let's get in the cockpit here, and we can just kind of take a quick look around. It's not much different than the 406. Now, one of the things is that the throttle is now turned off. I've got a binding to my Warthog, my Thrustmaster Warthog, and it will not, after I get the engine started, then I can use it, but it won't animate here on the collective. So with that, let's get back into position here. Go to the checklist and get started with our pre-flight. Okay, so we know the throttle is closed. Landing light switch is in the off position. Battery switch is off. Generator switch is off. Now it's telling me to put my anti-collisions lights on. That's positions, William. And they should be off. Here we go. Anti-collision is on. Hydraulic system. Okay, in this one now, this is the Microsoft Flight Simulation Stockbird, and in the 407, hydraulic system is on. Passenger lights are off. Position light switch is off. Defog off, pitot heat, all these. Avionics master is off. Instrument light, this switch here. We will turn it on as bright as day is. We don't really need it anyway. And the rotor brake is off. So that list is complete. So let's go to the pre-start. And we'll start with battery switch on. And we'll look at our LCDs. Horn test. Overspeed. Okay. Let's go ahead and do our CW test right here. Okay. Instrument check. And our LCD test. That's all good. Working NG. That's all looking good. It should be 0 about now. Fuel quantity check. That looks okay. Warning lights. Caution lights, we've already checked those. So let's go ahead and get this set up. Find the satellites. Cyclic is centered. All right. Booster transfer left is on. Booster transfer right is on. Okay, so that's good. We got all our, make sure our fuses are all in. Fuel pressure is normal. We already did the light test. Check button's done. LC test button is done. That fuel valve is on. Fuel valve caution is off. Fuel valve switch is closed. Fuel quantity check, we've done that. Okay, so now we've done this, we can go to start the engines. Cyclic pedals. Are centered. Cyclic centering is off. Let's see, fuel's off. Okay. So now we're going to set the throttle to idle. And we're going to press the start button. And I've got a button on my HOTAS to do that.
Clear prop.
Clear ground Air America do XX Alpha Alpha Delta X-ray 010 with whiskey request taxi for takeoff departing straight out.
Air America do XX Alpha Alpha Delta X-ray 010 taxi to and hold short of runway for using taxiway Lima 9 or Lima Alpha. Contact tower on 120.1 when ready.
And we You should
Taxi,
see this
hold
get
short
up
runway
to
for using
about
taxiway Lima
7.
9 or Lima Alpha Air America
Oh, this
XX
one's
Alpha Alpha Delta
a
X-ray
little bit
010.
different. Usually it stops about 61. So start light is off. NG, boy, it's all the way almost at 100. And you'll notice how different that is in a couple of the other versions. All right. So with that, generator light switch is on. Generator fail light is off. Voltmeter check. Which is right here, and it's at 26.8, so that's okay. Let's do our avionics master. That's on. Huh? Okay, ATT gyro, and our TV switch. All right. So that's the checklist. I could turn on the force trim, heater if I needed it, don't need it, defog, pitot heat, I'm not going to worry about that today, although it's a little cold outside. I could put the auto trim on. Let's go ahead and put the position lights. And the pulse lights isn't working. We'll go ahead and do that anyway. I'm not going to put on the force trim. And while this is warming up, we'll just check everything here. All warning lights are off. And we got our landing lights. Taxi lights, we'll turn them on. Okay, now with that, we'll start moving that. And you notice this throttle is not moving, yet I'm using my HOTAS, and you see it increasing. But it's not going far enough, so I've got to do this by hand. All right, let's take a look outside. Runway 4. So, okay, let's taxi out to run towards that way. And let's see what happens here. Okay, so we give it just a little left anti-torque, start lifting the collective, and let's see how she does. Now we've got a warning light. It says check instruments. And they all look good to me. Let's double check up here. You see how it kind of leans to one side? And this is by far, of the 3 helicopters we're going to test, to me this is by far the easiest of the 3. Fly. Alright, so we've done our lift test. Let's go ahead and set her down. So, like we said, we've got to use this, so let's get it down to idle. We'll let the engine slow down. And that's basically all there is to it. And then we just go through, reverse the process, shut it down. Okay. So that is the Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 Standard Bell 407 in sim. So let's get ready to move on to the next. Okay, so here we are once again at Greenville Spartanburg International, same parking spot, so we'll get over there. A little different this time is that we're in the COWANSIM 206 B3. So let's get inside the helicopter and let's see about getting started. And here we are inside. Okay, now. That looks good. And one of the things we can do with this to make things a little quieter is that we can put on these headphones. And I'm going to move those because those just get in the way. I can't see. Okay, first things first, we'll make sure that that throttle is closed. Okay. And our torque pedals work. Very good. All right. So, just like the other one, we're going to use the in-sim checklist, which is a little bit different. So let's go with the pre-start. Okay. Doors are closed and locked. Auto brake is off. Seatbelt's done. Let's turn the battery on. And let's get rid of that noise. Don't need external power, but it would be available. Control stick is free and clear. Landing lights are off. Throttle is off. Fuel quantity. Yes, looking good. Looks like we got close, about 60 gallons. Flight instruments look good. Thermometer set in check. That's about right for Greenville, Spartanburg. Compass is good. That's all. Fuel shut-off valve. Okay, it's open. Hydraulics. They are down here. And they are on. Rotor brake level is off. So we're all set there. So now we can start the engine. And you notice it's turning, it's windy outside. All right. Area is clear. Rotor brake off. Throttle is closed. Starter. So I'm going to press my button and you'll see this black button start. And then we're going to watch this right up here, our gas processor. It should move up to about 12%, between 12 and 15%. And then we're going to move this up to idle. So
Clear prop.
Starter is on. And you see this going up. Okay, so we've introduced, yeah. Okay, that's good. Engine out light is off at 55%. And we should get up to about, actually about 61 or 62. So that's looking okay there. N1s is between 60 62, and that's close enough. Oil temp, looking good. Oil pressure check is good. So now we're going to move the throttle slowly up to 70%. Now, the torque, we don't want it to get over 40. So we'll watch that needle. first to move up. There it goes. Okay. We look here, and if we look right here, gas processor, fuel is good. So this is between 70 and 72%. And we're looking at percent RPM right now. It's showing 100. So now we can go here, amp meter. Good. Let's go up here. Once we get that to 70%, we can change the generator from start to gen. Avionics will be on.
Greer ground Air America do XX Alpha Alpha Delta X-ray 010. Request taxi for straight out departure with whiskey.
Okay.
Air America do XX Alpha Alpha Delta X-ray 010 taxi 2 and hold short of runway for via taxiway Lima 9er Lima Alpha. Contact tower on 120.1 when ready.
Taxiing hold short runway for via taxiway Lima 9er Lima Alpha Air America do XX Alpha Alpha Delta X-ray 010.
Okay. Now these aren't set up to work yet, but they will at a later date. Okay, so look outside. He's sounding pretty good. And once again, gonna give it some left anti-torque. It's already trying to move. Start lifting the collective. This one's a little more touchier than the other. So a little more challenging than the stock 407. And luckily, we can't crash. But that is the startup procedures. She can be a little bit of a challenge. let's see if I can get her on the ground safely here. Okay, we are down. So, and as you can see, the throttle handle doesn't move. But as I move my HOTAS, it comes down. Okay. It is a bit windy today. All right, so there you have it. The COWANSIM Bell 206 B3. Let's move on. Okay, so here we are, back at Greenville. Now we're flying the Flyinside Bell 206. This is actually, of the three helicopters, this is the most challenging and for me the hardest to fly, but it's also my favorite. But that's just my personal feeling. Other people will have other feelings, but we're going to get inside this and we'll show you some of the things that we've got to do to make this bird fly. She's the only one of the three that has to have a manager app, the Flyinside Heli Manager, which is an app that allows you to fly this helicopter in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So let's double check. Okay, that's good. Collective. Now, the one thing that I will show you here is that when I move my HOTAS, you can see it. And you see that little button there, the idle release? That is a safety item. You press it down and it'll go all the way. You start going up here, that pops. You can put the throttle, my HOTAS throttle, all the way back. And what that does, and the reason I like it, is it makes it much easier not to hot start this aircraft. So let's get the Flyinside software. Here we go. And first of all, we can do something. Let's check. This is what this takes care of for you. The cyclic, rudder axis, collective axis, and you can change all these things. Flight model is for the B-206. You can start with Windows. Let's double check. We've got update 2.12, which makes the latest update, so we're in good shape. Now, the one things we can do that changes things, and it'll change all these, is we can go with easy, physical stick travel, which I haven't tried. I haven't tried any of these except realistic. Medium, you can see the settings, which makes it all easier to fly the helicopter. And then, of course, realistic, which this aircraft will try to kill you. So, now, if you were to press the automatic idle release, and we'll do that right here, and move the HOTAS, and let's get down here so you can watch the idle release. It's released. If I go all the way back, it keeps going. It'll shut the engine off, and it's hard to not hot start this aircraft. And we don't want to do that because bad things happen, right? All right, so what I'm going to do today, just because we're going to use the sim checklist that's available for this aircraft. We're going to set it on realistic, and I'll show you, for me, just how difficult it is. So let's get out of that. Let's go up here. Come on. Come on. There we go. It doesn't like this checklist. Okay, so before starting engine, pre-flight complete, we've already done our walk around, checked everything outside and so on. We're in good shape. Seatbelts are adjusted and locked. Collective movement, we've already shown that it's free and clear, which I'll show you again. Thumbs up, go down. And cyclic, we've already done that too. Which this aircraft is real sensitive. Usually, for the most part, you can get away with just making small inputs, but that's one of the challenges with this HELO. All right, so with that, let's go to start engine. Main rudders are untied. Check the area. And the boys are standing back like they're supposed to. Very good. Generator is at start. Battery, you need to turn it on, William. Come down here to the horn silencing button. There we go. Okay. Collective is down. Throttle is closed. Fuel pump. Let's go back up here. Whoops. And we check these. We got a fuel pump, fuel boost, instrument lights, and all these are workable. So we have to double check to make sure that they are all on. Okay. So go back down here. Once again, I'm going to hit this starter button, get it started, and we're going to watch gas producer get between 12 and 15%, and then we'll start adding fuel, and we're going to try very hard not to hot start this helicopter. I am not perfect at this by any means, so let's give it a shot.
Clear prop.
Okay, we'll ease that up. Let's see if it took. Whoop, hot start. See how easy that is? Ah, that's not good. My bad. No, I'm gonna ignore it this time. Okay. That's a 60. Throttles at idle. Okay, so generator. Wait 1 minute, and then after that we can go to RPM 100. So then you can go from there and continue. Position lights, anti-collision lights. Low RPM, so everything is okay now, other than the fact we hot started the engine when we shouldn't. But that's one of the challenges, which makes, for me, it makes it fun. Alright, let's move this up to 100%. Again, we're going to be watching and make sure it doesn't go over 40. And that'll quiet things down a little bit. Okay, so we've got everything going here. Okay, so with that, we can go ahead and put on our taxi landing lights, because they're good. Let's check everything up here. Don't need any of that. We've got instrument lights, what we don't need right now. Everything's looking good. We can go ahead and strobe the lights. Not going to use pitot heat. All right. Now, this is, remember, we've got this set on realistic. Let's see if we can take off without crashing. picks up. Look at it, dude. Boom. See what I mean? She can be a beast. Let's see if we can work on this. So with that, try to coax her down a little bit here. Ride the shutter. Ride the shutter. No VRS today. Okay, now, real quick. Let's see if it'll do it. Let me change it automatically here. See if we can lift off here. Oh yeah, it definitely makes a change. That's medium. Now, let's set her down. First time I've tried this on medium. I've always done realistic. Okay, and one last attempt here. Let's put it on easy. And try one more. Oh yeah. much easier. So there you have. You can try it on hard, make your own adjustments, and find out what works for you, or you can do medium, or in this case I'm doing easy. And see how, what works best for you in flying this helicopter. Like I said, this of the 3 helicopters, and they're all good. They really are. I like this one best because of the challenge. I'm still working to try to be able to fly. Once I get in the air, I'm fine, but it's the takeoff that keeps trying to kill me when I've got it on realistic. And I think a lot of that is because of my HOTOS. Because I'm using the Warthog. So it's a very short stick, where if I had an extension, like the HOTAS was sitting on the floor and my extension was from the floor up to the level I have it now, it would take much less movement and easier controlled movement to fly it, especially, you know, on realistic. So let's see, we're going to turn it around here and we're going to set it down. Alright, so there we have it. Let's go ahead and push her down, the throttle down. Now you decide to get in with me. Let this run and watch temperatures cool down before we shut it down. But well, there you have it. The one directly behind my head is the gimbal Cabri G2. We didn't test that today because the first three we did test are very similar in the way the startup procedures are and how they handle. So, as you can see, we got the Bell Model 407, the COWANSIM 206 B3, and the Flyinside Bell 206. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun bringing it to you. It was, as you saw, especially the last one, the Flyinside version of the Bell 206, is extremely challenging for me, and I've got a lot to learn about it, but at the same time, gives you an idea of some of the things. You can fine-tune that particular aircraft quite well, I think, and I've just got to work on it and spend some more hours playing with it. For me personally, it is my favorite of the three, but they've all got their purposes and their uses, and they're all, in my opinion, fun to fly. So I hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun bringing it to you, and very soon we'll be seeing you again. So until then, this is Bug64, and remember, safe flying.